Namaste to all the students. Namaste Vidya, Hamesha Kusho. So today I, Jamie Bhavna Verma, Assistant Professor in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University from Department of Science and Technology and the Faculty of APM. So today we are going to discuss on a session that I have already written on our blackboard, that is Principle of Animation, right? So it is also a topic of simple subject, that is multimedia, right? So firstly, we need to understand. We have already understand the topic, that what do you mean by multimedia? What are its components? What are the components of multimedia? How can we say that this example or these things are belong to multimedia? Okay. Right now, what we can say, that right now in present scenario, whatever we use, whatever we do, whatever the online system we do, all things that includes multimedia. Okay. Sometime one, sometime more than one. These all things are going through with the basics of multimedia, right? Right. Just like that, if I have to send the end documents, then I have to write on it. And if I want, we are connected through an online medium in which audio and video are visible. Okay. Just like that, a simple video or a simple animation. These are all the examples of multimedia, right? Now, the basic one of type of our multimedia, one of our component of multimedia, that is animation, right? So animation, what is animation? What is video, right? So when different frames, an image is made up of frames. When different frames are combined together in particular manner, in particular sequence, and when the speed of speed of these frames are like more than 24 or approx more than 20 frames per second, then it is called a video. Okay. If we made videos are the things that have to be shooted online or have to be shooted in real time. But animation, what is animation? But animation is created by us. This is the basic difference between animation and video. So animation is created by you. So where do you use animation? You can see the multiple examples where animation is used by you, right? For example, when you are going to see a movie, you are going to watching a movie. Then in movie also, some of the animation and some of the graphic techniques is used by you. Just like that, when we say uh, sometimes you have already seen that animations are created. Okay. Animated movies are created especially for children, especially just like cartoon movies or animated movies. Okay. So high quality animation is done by the producer or filmmaker to in a particular animated movie, right? So what can you say? How can you justify your answer that you can say the animation of that movie is good and the animation of that movie is not so good? How can you say? So you can say, you can compare both of the movies at a particular quality of animation that is used in a particular movie, right? You can say that in that movie, we just see animation is soothing. Okay, we can see in in that movie, animation is not consistent. Okay. The movie. Okay. So we can say then there are some particular scenarios, some particular principles are there that should be followed while doing the animation, right? And you have to always compare your animation with the real life example. For example, when I can say, in a simple video, if person is walking and wind is blowing, then to have a feel like that, we have to also create an animation in which animated movie in which if a person is walking and the wind is blowing, then as compared to reality, what is the scenario of your animated movie? So we have to combine those features. This is the physical feature of. So we can say So we can say some of the technique of animation should be as compared as the situation is handling in a real life example. Okay, then you can say your animated movie is so realistic, the animation is so good, the animation is so justified, right? Also, where animation can use, we can say a simple example when you go through a YouTube, when you go through ad, when there are many websites. When you open these websites, then you just saw a simple small corner where the where ad will come. So there are many animated ads that is shown to you when you just open a website. Okay. So animation, there are very much practical examples of an animation that you can see. Okay, now we are just going to discuss simply one by one step that what is animation. We have already read out that, and what are the basic principles of animation that should be followed by someone if he or she wanted to use good animation and wanted to make a good animated movie, right? So this I can just say that animation. When we going to talk about animation, when we going to talk about the different principles. So there is some book which name is The Illusion of Life. Okay, which is written by an author. Okay, and in that and that particular book is released in approx 1981. Okay, so according to that there are he drawn some of the basic 12 principles of movie, basic 12 principles of animation that is followed it, right? So we can say, so according to that we just came to know about the 12 basic principles of animation. Okay, now coming to our session, that is first principle. Okay, so now your first principle is basically that squash and stretch. So squash and stretch, what do you mean by it? Okay, so we can say it is very important between one of the 12 principles of animation, right? So when it applied, it gives your animated character and the object the illusion of gravity, weight, mass, and flexibility, right? So when we just talk about gravity, gravity, when we talk about gravity, when we talk about mass, and we talk about flexibility, right? Gravity, mass, and flexibility. Gravity, mass. When we talk about gravity, when we talk about mass, and when we talk about flexibility, then we can say these all terms are belonging to squash and stretch. Okay, just like that, if a ball um, if something that has fallen, something just like some duster and just like this job, if it is just fallen on the ground, okay, then according to the gravity, after some time, it just bounces up. If you throw a ball, it bounces more, okay, and if you stretches a rubber, then it becomes thinner. And if you squeeze something, that becomes wider. Okay, so this is a basic principle that is followed by gravity, mass, and flexibility, which is called as your first basic principle, that is squash and stretch, right? Next one is anticipation. Okay, this is a principle, anticipation. So anticipation means, so it helps to prepare the viewer for what's about to happen. Okay, it helps to prepare about what is going to be happen. Okay, so when it applies, it has the effect of making objects action more realistic. Okay, so it is used to make the realistic movie, it is used to make the realistic animation. Okay, when you want to say that your animation should be realistic, so what you use anticipation. We can just consider this as an example. Like if someone wants to jump out a window, okay, then he just push down his knees and just jump out. Okay, if I just throw and chop, so not like this. And if I just throw a ball, like I was playing, someone is going to play in the cricket ground, so what he do, he just take a ball and just throw it very fastly. So we can say, so the movement of hand, taking your hands back like that, and then keep the force in your arm, and then throw a ball. Then you can say this motion of taking hand behind and then throwing a ball, it gives more reality involvement to your animated character. So how can you say that like if you throw a ball and this ball goes very fastly? No, if you throw a ball like this, then you can say okay, that ball goes more fastly than compared to previous ball. Okay, so this is the basic anticipation. Okay, so it helps a viewer to get the idea what is going to happen. When I used to do like this, then I must throw a ball. When I just need to jump out over it, and if I bend the knees, then we can say, okay, someone is going to jump out of the window, right? So this is the to get the viewer more realistic approach, right? Okay. Now next one, as you can say, next one is staging. Okay. So staging, what is staging? So देखो, so just have a simple one, like staggering. Staggering in animation, staggering in animation is a lot like composite of in art. Just like that, you should use the motion to guide the viewer's eye and draw attention towards what's important within the scene. Okay, so if you want to seek the attention of the viewer's eye, then for doing that efforts, if you use something, then it is called as staggering, right? So keep the focus on what's important within the scene. Just like a person is walking and something happened in the background, if you want someone to catch the viewer's attention towards a person, then you just blur the background and focus on person that is walking. If you want to show something important to happen in the background, then what do? You just keep your focus on the background and blur the person that is walking on the road. So this is the basic of staggering. Okay, what is going to important? You just highlighted those. Okay, so uh, it is used to guide viewers' eye and draw attention to what is going to happen with important thing. Okay, this is called your staggering. Next one is straight ahead and action pose to pose and straight ahead action and pose to pose. Okay, straight ahead action means there are two ways to handle the drawing animation when you used to draw the things. There are two ways to handle the drawing the information. So, so in that, you use two types of technique. That is straight ahead action. Next one is pose to pose. Okay. So both of these has their own benefit. Like in a straight ahead action, it involves drawing frame by frame from start to finish. Right. So what does this involve? So step by step, straight ahead action involves drawing frame by frame from start to finish. Frame by frame from start to finish. Okay. We draw frame by frame from start to finish. Just like we have to use 40 frames. Then we just need to insert one frame, second frame, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 to 40 frame, one by one in a particular sequence. Okay, in particular order. But what do you do in pose to pose? In pose to pose, you draw frame, but not frame by frame. Just like that, if you draw for your first frame, then you draw your last frame, then you draw some of the 2, 3 frames between first frame and last frame. Okay, then after that you can reset it, you can go back and you can insert frame from for the remaining positions. Okay, this is called as pose to pose. Okay, so straight ahead continuous process, pose to pose step by step process. Okay, that can be handled in a particular manner. Okay, so this is the basic of your pose to pose animation, right? Now next one is flow through and overlapping action, right? Okay, when an object, okay, follow through in it, when an object comes to a standstill after being a motion, okay, then different parts of the object will stop at different rates, okay. Like someone is walking and someone is running, right? Then his clothes or his hairs are still moving, right? If you just stop, then you just stop your body, but still the movement of clothes, the movement of hairs are still being present there, right? So these stop at a different rates. Okay, this is called your flow through and overlapping action. Okay, now just like that, in practically in I just take in a practical situation. If we thrown in two objects, like I thrown a stone and also I just thrown uh, a piece of paper. Okay, then according to the gravity and according to mass, if wind is blowing, okay, then both of these objects stop at different rates at different positions, right? Same like that, if a person moves, then his arms moves, his legs also moving, okay, at a different rate as compared to your head, right? So it is the basic of your flow through and overlapping instruction. Okay, now, next one is slow in and slow out process. Like this is slow in, slow out. How can you say it's slow and slow? As the name justifies it. Okay. Just like that, if a car starts moving, then if a car is standstill, okay, then you just start your car and this car starts moving from one place to another place. Then car just started, then it covers the speed, okay. Then this started moving more fastly, okay. So speed is like that from zero to more fastly. Just like that, if just you just apply your brake, then just after just brake is applied, then your car doesn't stop just like straight forward. No, the speed of car should be somehow slow. Then slowly, that car is just stopped. So this is the basic slow in and slow out process, which you can just compare with the moving of a car and with the car stop. Okay, so you have to give and so you have to get that feel. Okay, if a thing is slow in and slow out. Okay, you can take the example of a movement of a car. Okay, this is the basic slow in and slow out. Now next one is R. Next one you can see that secondary action. Okay, now in secondary action, right? In secondary action. So in secondary action, when you just say there are some things, if you want to give your picture more realistic environment, that you need to see what are the if an action happened, then what are the other secondary actions that are important. Then what are the other secondary actions that are important? Okay, just like someone says some negative word to one person, then then the secondary reaction involves just like if you are not happy with that, okay, then you just make your face just like that. So facial expression, when compared to something that happened, when compared to some action, okay, then this facial expression or and uh, what is the reaction of one action. So okay, so these are the some secondary actions that are important and that can support the main action. It's called your secondary action. So secondary action are used to support or emphasize as the main action going on within a scene. Okay, so secondary action support the first action, which gives the more realistic involvement to your animation. Now, okay, now next one is timing. Okay, so timing, what is timing? Okay, have you already known about that, the word timing, right? Okay, so timing means for this principle animation, for this principle of animation, we need to look out the laws of physics and apply what we see in the natural world to our animation. Okay, if we focus on our timing, that means if you move an object more quickly or slowly, then it will naturally move in the real world. Okay. If you want to see if you want to just basic step, if you want to create an animation like the two animation, you have to compare between two. The cycle moves slowly as compared to car. So this is a basic timing situation that can be taken as similarly as a realistic environment. If you move an object more quickly or slowly, then it would naturally move in the real world. Okay, the effect won't be believable, right? So using the correct timing that allows to control the mood and reaction of your character of an object. Okay, so this is the basically timing. The timing must be good and timing must be matching. Now next one is arc. Okay, as you say arc. If you throw an object like this, I just throw a chalk, then it will used to face this type of motion, right? And you just see that it is a principle of physics also. When we in reality environment, when I just throw and something, throw a chalk, like this, I just throw a stone. So then it follows this type of principle. So as compared to that also, while doing animation, you also need to know about that path, trajectory. Okay, so animation also have to perform this basic principle. Animation also have to follow this basic principle of physics. Okay, this is the basic principle. Okay, that we call an art. Now, next one is exaggeration. What is so it means, okay, uh, when you want to make too much realism, too much reality, when you want to make too much reality to your animation, then sometimes it can ruin an animation, right? So making it appear static and boring. Okay, if you if you want to give realism to your more realism to your animation, then sometimes it can ruin your animation, okay, and make it more static and boring. So doing an extra effects, doing an extra efforts for making it more dynamic, for making it more entertaining, okay, we need to just add some expression to your characters, right, to make an to be to make object more dynamic, okay. So here you can push your limits and just so to do that we need to find the ways to push the limits just beyond what's possible, right, and your animation will pop, right. So to give your animation an extra character, an extra grace, you just whatever the effects you just use, it is called as expression. Next one is solid drawing. As the name suggests, solid drawing, when you just make a 3D object, okay, when you just want to show that there is a three-dimensional object is present, okay, then you need to show the height, width and length of that object. You need to also show what is the shadow of that object, okay. This is called your solid drawing. So you need to understand the basic of drawing. This includes how to draw in three-dimensional space and understanding from an anatomy, okay. So this is basically used for 3D drawing also, okay. You need to have an idea and anatomy of weight, volume and lines and shadows, okay. This is called as your solid drawing, right. Next one is appeal. Appeal means, okay, your characters, your objects and the world, your characters and objects and the world in which they live needs to be more appealing to the viewer, okay. Whatever animation you use, whatever animation you use, that is, that belongs to city, that belongs to an environment, that belongs to forest or not, your animation should be very appealing to the viewer, okay. So when viewer can take interest in your animation, when you just say your animation is too good, and when a viewer can say your animation is too good, your animation is too much realistic, your animation is too much eye catching, okay. For doing these type of things, you need to do some of the extra effects. So we can say to have an animation to be eye catching, to have an animation to be appealing, you need to do some extra effects, okay. So this is the basic principle also, that your animation should be appealing, your animation should be eye catching to according to user's point of view, okay. So this can include having an easy to read design, solid drawing and personality. How can you use, how can you make your animation much more appealing? You can include easy to read design, okay, that the design that are not so much complicated, but these are easy to read. You can use solid drawings, okay. You can use any personality things that you want to use in your animation, right. So there is no formula for getting this right. Want to make an appealing feature, so there is no particular formula, okay. You have to do this by this your mind, okay. We have no formula for getting this right, but it starts with storing the characters, development and being able to tell your story through the art of animation, okay. This is the basic thing that you have to give particular things, okay. You have to do particular things for your animation to be more appealing, okay. So it means how you present your story, okay, how your story, how your animation can justify your story, okay. So this is called appealing. So your animation must be appealing, okay. So I hope you just clear all the session, okay. In this session we have discovered the basic principles of animation. Okay, one by one we just again read out those things, like those principles. Like there are six principles. Basically, there are 12 principles. First one is squash and stretching. Next one is anticipation. Third one is striking. Fourth one is straight ahead action and go to go. Fifth one is follow through and overlapping action. Next one is slow in and slow out. Seventh one is secondary action. Eighth one is timing. Ninth one is art. 10th is expression. 11th is solid drawing, and 12th is appeal. Okay. I hope you just understand all the session in which I have already taken the example, right? Thank you. That's all for today's session. I hope you don't have any query, and if you have any query, then you can ask me, right? And namaste to all the students. This is Chetan Bhavna Verma, Assistant Professor in Jyoti Vidyapeeth University. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening to me. And this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 JOT Vidyapeeth Women's University. Thank you.